Quite right, too. That's no way for Clangers to behave.
Hello and welcome to the couch. It's time for serial viewing. Hello, fellow serial viewers, Jeremy and Jennifer.
Evening.
Oh, this is the introduction. Sorry.
This is me saying hello. Yes, hello, Jeremy.
Hi.
Is it too early on the couch for you to?
Yes.
Too late.
Too late. Episode 33. This time we watched Clangers. The original series ran from 1969 to 1974. 2 seasons, totaling 26 episodes. The series chronicles the funny lives of the Clangers, residents of a knobbly little planet far out in space that speak in a whistled language, which I am sure we will imitate many times throughout this. They eat only green soup supplied by the soup dragon and blue string pudding. The episodes are only 10 minutes long, so we watched 2 this time. We watched Series 1, Episode 1, titled Flying, where Major Clanger builds a flying machine and Tiny Clanger gets stuck at the top of the cave with a balloon. And Series 1, Episode 3, called Chicken. The Clangers build some fireworks, one of which collides with a passing iron chicken. Oh, that old chestnut.
Can I just comment and say that Major Clanger sounds like a venereal disease? I've got a case of the Major Clangers.
You get clangers if you don't wipe enough.
It's a
It gets
pun.
really sweaty.
Or a play on words.
Does anyone know why they're called clangers?
I feel like I should, but I don't.
No, Jennifer?
No?
Klingons?
No? Okay, they're called clangers. They're called clangers because that's the noise that their dustbin lids make when they pull them down over their holes.
Oh, I did know that.
Thought you might. This was Jeremy's choice.
Woo!
Why clangers? It's not the clangers. It's just called clangers. I keep calling it the clangers.
Because he was smoking a lot of weed.
I feel like it's a Mandela effect thing because I'm fairly certain I remember the intro being the Clangers with the whole font and everything. I chose it because it's my childhood. I had it on video.
It's your childhood. It came out before I was born.
I know, but we had it on video, and they're just so darn cute. Very British,
Yeah.
as well. Like very British, old school.
Painfully British.
Clangers, Bagpuss, the whole like the stop motion. What else is there? Well, Bill and Ben, like all those like real puppety stuff.
Well, if you've had the misfortune of never having experienced clangers, it is a stop motion show, which, as I said, follows the clangers. They're small mouse-like creatures. They don't have tails and have
Mouse
flat
elephants,
feet.
yeah.
Mouse elephants, yep. And all of their speech is provided by, I can't remember what it's called.
The pin whistle.
Pin whistle.
Pin
Yeah,
whistle.
well, and they've got a bit of a pan flute in there as well, haven't they?
Yeah, that one.
That's what Major does. He's like,
It's different.
The series made by Small Films, a company set up by Oliver Postgate, who was the show's writer, animator and narrator, and a chap called Peter Firmin, who was its model maker and illustrator. Firmin designed the characters and Joan Firmin, his wife, knitted and dressed them. The music, often part of the story, was provided by a chap called Vernon Elliott.
Ooh.
So, obviously, I don't need to ask either of you if you've ever heard of this before.
no.
No?
They're just so darn
Go on then,
cute.
tell me about your childhood memories with Clangers, Jeremy.
Well, they're cute. I don't remember watching them, sticking the video in the. If you don't
Had it on
know
VHS.
serial viewing, it was what a video is. And then these like magnetic tapes that you had to rewind manually, or you just press the button, hold it down until it stops rewinding. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I don't remember ever watching a consistent episode, but that's because I think I was very young and they're really quick. They're like trapdoor levels of episode.
They are. I think they're slightly longer than Trapdoor. 10 minutes. What about you, Jennifer?
I think it's standard for any 70s, 80s child.
I think there is going to be. It's another show where if you walked up to anyone, then they're either going to whistle back at you or go, the soup dragon.
Dragon.
It's so amusing because I can't hear you whistle.
I'm just blowing kisses at the screen.
Yeah.
Is Super Dragon ever? That's Ivor the Engine, isn't it, in the Welsh accent?
Yeah.
That's because he's the green dragon, isn't he, or something?
There is a green dragon in, yeah.
Yeah, which is very similar.
So, the Soup Dragon lives on the planet that they're with, and he lives underground. It lives underground.
She.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's a maternity. And she provides food for the Clangers. They go to her and they get soup.
The soup.
So she lives in a hole, and whenever they take the lid off, there's this green glow. Now, we know the soup is green, so it's the dragon in the soup.
That's what I thought. Or it's just secreting.
Is it just... Is it like that big gross walrus thing in one of the Star Wars movies where it's squeezing out blue milk, but the dragon's like sweating out
herself.
Green soup, which then swims around it.
Well, I want to know, right? They've got a really small planet, as you said, a nobbly planet.
Yes.
Why did not want to... Like, it feels like it's a symbiotic relationship between this one species of soup dragon, this one single soup dragon, and this entire colony of clangers. Now, how did they evolve? Did they start on this planet? Did they colonize it? Or if they've like evolved as different species, like one's slightly mammalian, one's slightly reptilian, and then they've evolved, were there more soup dragons? Did the clangers kill them? Did they take command and they've enslaved the soup dragon?
That was explained in one of the episodes. Unfortunately, it was explained as...
Yeah, that was the Great War.
Unless you can translate that, we don't know. It originated in a series of books developed from another small films production called Noggin the Nog. Do you remember Noggin the Nog, Jennifer?
Yeah.
I don't. I know the name, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Sounds offensive.
Called Noggin and the Moon Mouse, it featured a large mouse-like creature in a duffel coat. In '69, the BBC asked small films to produce a new series, but they didn't specify a storyline. They just kind of gave them free reign. And then Oliver Postgate decided that since space exploration was topical and exciting, he adapted the Moon Mouse by simply removing the tail. And there you go. That's how the Clangers were born.
They do...
Noggin the Nog, that's the... It's like a crap king, isn't it? It's like a Viking king.
Was he?
Isn't that Asterix?
I'd have... Vicky the Viking.
Vicky the Viking.
Yeah, it was a bit... Oh, now I've just thought of something and now I can't remember what it is.
I feel like the Clangers bear very striking similar resemblance to the mice in the first Wallace and Gromit. Like the little noses, the way they go. Do you not remember them? With
I don't remember them. I'm drawing a complete...
Where he's building the rocket. Oh, yeah. And they were watching.
On the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, no, and then mean on...
Well, they went just before they go to the moon.
Yeah, they are a bit like that.
Sorry, it's getting Christmassy, so I'm thinking about Wallace and Gromit.
It had a fairly low budget, as evidenced by the fact that they were knitted. I found a wonderful quote from Oliver Postgate, the creator, in his autobiography. And I'll read it to you in full. In the beginning was the void, and the void was dark and without form, being 8x5 sheets of battened hardboard painted midnight blue. And on the first day we took a bucket of white emulsion and big floppy brushes, and threw white stairs thereupon, even unto the extremities thereof. And we looked upon it, and saw that it was terrible. And on the second day we painted it out and started again.
Brilliant.
So you can see it in the opening narration. You see a wonderfully painted planet Earth, and then it pans across the cosmos, and it is obviously a painted piece of words.
I think some of that is a black sheet with Christmas decorations.
I think so.
Look at
Yeah,
some of the stars to make them 3D. They look like bits of tinsel.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was trying to get a better look at some of those because they are old, so the quality's not great. We watch this on YouTube, by the way, if you'd like to go watch it.
I feel like the with what they did, and it's kind of a playful thing that they do specifically now in a lot of kids' cartoons or kids' shows. They do that whole like it's a self-aware drawing, like it's made in a toy box, like the kids are playing with the stuff. I can't think of a show off the top of my head, but they tend to do it a lot now with a lot of shows. It's just an unintentional version of that. I think it's wholesome.
I think like my second, I don't know if it's voice or if it's the gentle music but the whole thing was just so, it was like a warm hug.
Yeah.
The whole thing, it's so gentle.
It's
so soothing. It's like, I did write, if I was any more gentle, I'd fall asleep.
Yeah, I was getting there, and then I wrote down the relaxation this brings me is just therapeutic.
It's that man's voice.
Yeah.
Whereas the narration is very old school.
Yeah,
And also like play-like as well. The theatre.
and it helps as well, I think, that all of the noises, every single one of the noises, I don't know if this was a stylistic choice or if they were conscious and maybe it was like the darkness of space and the emptiness and it like an echoey thing in space. Every single sound had an echo in it. It went like a 16-note echo, like, and like even every time they whistled, like, and everything, something clanged. It made it sound very big.
I have a very interesting piece of trivia about that, actually. So the sound effects, the score were composed by a chap called Vernon Elliott, under instructions from Oliver Postgate. The episodes were scripted. Most of the music used in the two series was written in translation by Postgate in the form of musical sketches or graphs that he drew for Elliott, who then converted the drawings into a musical score. The music was then recorded by the two of them, along with other musicians who were dubbed the Clangers Ensemble, in a village hall where they would often leave the windows open, leading to the sounds of birds outside being heard on some recordings. Much of the score was performed on Elliott's bassoon, but they also included the harp, clarinet, glockenspiel, and bells. So yeah, you probably got some odd sound effects going on there since they literally just recorded it in a village hall with the windows open, Arthur the caretaker wandering through halfway through.
Yeah, a big empty room where you get the sound bouncing off all the walls and like the I don't know if they did add it afterwards because it was pretty consistent, but yeah. Do you know what? That's so quintessentially English. Yeah.
Low budget, and I love it. It's so nice.
Yeah, very wholesome.
But yeah, then booking out the village hall. What's this for? We're recording some music. It's the Clangers Ensemble. Are they doing a play? No. It's about some space mice. Just we're going to put on a play.
Yeah, and I did... When in the first episode, they had a major who had like a really low whistle, like whoo whoo whoo. But then they also had like with the music that came in, it was very present and it's very in the front, and it was whenever they were doing an action, and you couldn't quite tell the difference. But now I've gone back, now I've thought about it. The clangers all have echoes, but the like the actual sounds don't, like the music doesn't. Right. So there is a difference, like you can tell, but it's not.
So
quite.
How do you feel about the music? Does it work for you?
I mean, there's not much to it. Like I like the fact that like it separates it, but I feel like they could have done something slightly different to separate it. Maybe break it up a little bit, because it is just in theory a deeper sounding clanger with a bit of a ding.
Fair enough. So in the major clanger, he's the patriarch of the family. did you notice that all of the boys were wearing very Roman style brass armor, and then all the girls wore kind of like vests?
Yeah, I didn't pick it up. It was armor? Girls and boys, but yeah.
Well, yeah, because tiny Clanger is a girl, where small Clanger is a boy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so what?
I was going to say, I thought they were both wearing woolly jumpers.
No.
Well, they both look the same to me, so.
So Major Clanger builds a flying machine. He kind of flies it around once, then crashes it and gives up. Which I'm not sure that's an appropriate message for you. But it actually does that a typical middle-aged man thing. It didn't work. He tried it once, it didn't work, so he's going to get a strop and go home for tea.
He can go to bed.
Yeah. And then Tiny Clanger steals one of the balloons and gets stuck at the top of the cave and gets upset until they get it down.
Well, Small Clanger has the idea, and they're both on it, and then Small Clanger lets go, and it's Tiny gets stuck.
Damn you, Small Clanger.
Because at the end...
Small bounces up and beats
That's it. It brings down Tiny, and then Tiny's very scared, but Small is like really chuffed with himself that not only did he fly, he saved him. And then he got told off by Mum and Dad. And then they all had a big laugh about it.
And then he beat him with sticks.
No, that was the chicken.
Beating.
After the credit. Yeah, and then in the second one, the Clangers are setting off what were real fireworks.
Yes.
Did you notice
that?
It was
recordings of fireworks, yeah.
They were impressive. I read it looks like Nan's filming that bonfire night in 2005.
I think it's that episode, or it might be a different one, but one of the episodes they managed to set fire to the set with a firework.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Clangers have built some fireworks and they fire them off, and one shoots down a passing iron chicken.
Yeah.
Which kind of wanders around, eats things, gets in the way, lays an egg, and then leaves. Does it take the egg with it?
No, it leaves it.
Leaves it as a present for Tiny, eats everything, goes through a wall.
Yeah.
But we never get to see what's in the egg.
No. I think the Iron Chicken becomes a regular character, or it's seen later more.
Maybe.
So that might be where it come from.
Maybe.
So the whistling. So Postgate, who provided the narration and a lot of the translation for much of the whistled dialogue, he claimed that all of the sounds were based off of actual speech.
Yeah.
So they were trying to pattern things. But he also said that in reality, the Clangers were whistling. They were swearing their little heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also said that when the BBC... So this is an account from Postgate. When the BBC got the script, they rang me up and said, at the beginning of episode 3, when the doors get stuck, Major Clanger says, "Sod it, the bloody thing's stuck again."
Yeah.
Well, you can't say that on children's television, you know. I mean, you just can't. And I said, it's not going to be said, it's going to be whistled. But they just said, but people will know. And I said, no, if they had nice minds, they'd think, oh dear, the silly thing's not working properly. And if you watch the episode, the one where the rocket goes up and shoots down the Iron Chicken, Major Clanger kicks the door to make it work, and his first words are, "Sod it, the bloody thing's stuck again." Yeah. Which did make me laugh.
In fact, actually, yeah.
It is brilliant.
That's it. Second, kicking the dodgy door.
Years later, when the Clangers merchandising took off, the Golden Bear Company, who were creating the merchandising, wanted a clanger and a clanger phrase. So when you squeezed it, it would say the phrase. And they got, "Sod it, the bloody thing stuck in."
Love it.
In Clangerese.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I feel like I had a clanger growing up.
Do you know, I think I did. I think it's one of those things that you just kind of assume you had.
Well, that's why I said to watch this episode, because it was on QI that they talked about it.
Oh, really?
Yes. It was a while ago, but they spoke about it, and I just stumbled upon it after doing a bit of clang research, and I was like, okay, we have to watch this episode.
The original Mother Clanger model was stolen in 1972 and never recovered. You can go and see Major Clanger and the replacement Mother Clanger. They are on display at the Rupert Bear Museum if you really want to go and find them. And the Clangers grew in size between the first and last episodes. to allow Furman to use an Action Man model figure in the episode The Rock Collector. I think that's the one where an astronaut shows up and they used an Action Man figure, which means they had to make the clangers significantly bigger.
Are the clangers like waist high?
What? I can't remember. What?
I might look it up.
Do it. There was only 26 episodes made for the original run, and it's one of those shows that I swear there were more.
It's always the way.
Yeah. At least double that.
Wow, that's creepy.
What?
You
haven't found Rule 34 for the clangers?
No, just the astronaut. He's got a really creepy... Well, he's also got a porn tash.
Of course, it was the 70s.
Yeah. I think, they're just over, like, waist high on a dude.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I'd scream and hit it with something.
I would have said they were a bit bigger.
I can't quite tell, but, like, the proportions from with the Action Man. Anyhow.
Anyway.
In 1974, there was actually a 27th episode aired. It was outside of the... It was a 4-minute special created for the general election of that year, titled Vote for Froglet. Now, the Froglets were creatures that you meet later on in the series who also live on their little moon.
They look a bit like Trapdoor Plasticine.
Well, it was broadcast on the 10th of October 1974, the actual day of the general election. The narrator explains the democratic process and demonstrates it by asking the clangers to vote between the Soup Dragon and a Froglet. The Soup Dragon wins the election on a policy of no soup for Froglets, which seems a little harsh.
That is what? Segregation.
But the clangers are dissatisfied with the result. I don't know how it turns out, whether they stage a revolution, or they overturn the democratic process.
A military coup.
That's such a weird thing to do, though. I mean, I get trying to explain what's going on to children, but the clangers?
Yeah, I feel like there's a better way we could do it.
When I was listening to these episodes, it's felt very British to have... This is a kids' TV show for quite young children. Mm-hmm. And some of the words the narrator used at the beginning are huge. And it's quite complicated. So instead of saying, this is our planet, that's their planet, some of the words he uses...
Well, that's a good thing. I like that.
No, I like it, but it's very 60s, 70s
it is,
British
yes.
kids' TV. Now, they don't even use English words. They make up sounds.
Planet is a...
The Popolobs. What are they called? Pontypandies. What are the two families?
What? You've got an...
Ninky Nonk.
The Ninky Nonks.
And the Pinky Ponk. The
Pinky Ponk.
That's
that's the train in the...
Zeppelin.
Sorry. How did we get onto... I can't...
Wait, what are they called? It's so annoying. Families? Yeah.
The Wattingers.
Wattingers.
Oh, they're the blue ones.
I can't believe I remembered that.
The red ones.
Pottagers? No.
No.
And then you got that slut.
Upsy Daisy.
Upsy Daisy.
Constantly flashing her knickers.
The slut.
Yeah. And then you've got
Macca-Pacca. Macca-Pacca's a...
Macca-Pacca.
Macca-Pacca was great.
I love Macca.
Oh, Eagle Piggle, the idiot.
No, he's a toddler.
Dragging it back to the clanger.
I'll look it up.
The Postgate has said late after the show was aired that the clangers, who lived in a vacuum, go figure, they didn't communicate by sound, but rather by a type of nuclear magnetic resonance, which is fairly advanced, and he spent a lot of time thinking about that. It was only translated into the audible whistles for the human audience. The whistles were designed, as I said, were designed to follow the rhythm intonation of a script in English. The series was not widely broadcast outside of the UK in the 1970s due to its low budget. They didn't actually feel the need to sell it abroad because they didn't need the income. It was so cheap they'd paid for itself. But they found that when the series was shown to overseas children, without any narration at all, many of the children felt that the clangers were speaking their own language. So there you go. The power of imagination for you right there.
I see that. The Pontipines.
Oh, Pottingers.
No, Wattingers and Pontipines.
Sorry, Pontipines and the Wattingers. I just read the two and put them together.
Sorry, I went down a whole thing where apparently Macapaca is God and also an FBI agent. And Niggle Piggle's a dying sailor. It got a bit confusing. Anyway, yes. So a different language.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. That's what I assumed it was before I found out. I mean, it is.
Yeah,
of course it's a different language.
Mm-hmm.
You just impress your own language onto it.
It's like echolocation, like dolphins.
It's nuclear magnetic resonance. I'm not going to explain it to you if you're not intelligent enough to understand it.
When did you become an expert in thermonuclear magnetics?
Last night I did the reading. So, did you notice their feet? Could either of you describe their feet to me?
Yeah. Are they like their hands? They're like little claws.
No.
Little 3 feet, I don't know.
No, they are literally just they are flat and black and stuck on the bottom. To keep the puppets upright in some of the weird positions, and I saw this in one of the episodes, I was looking for it, to keep them upright, they actually tapped tacks through their feet.
Oh.
So little nails through their feet to hold them in place. And if you look closely, you can actually see the nails holding them up. And then occasionally, when they move off, you can see the damage the nails has done to the set. Which did make me laugh.
Yeah. It's a bit grim.
Well, yeah, you will stand there. Dog.
Did they not invent blue tack in the 70s?
They probably did, but it's expensive.
They didn't want it to be too obvious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they've got like flipper feet.
Yep. Which they nailed them to the set. It did make me laugh when Tiny Clanger was floated up on the balloon and was hanging around at the top of the set. That was because it's all stop motion, so they take an image and then they tie it together. Except for that bit, that was literally just a film of a thing hanging up in the corner. They did say actually that anything flying proved to be a real challenge, and it took them like 3 or 4 times longer to film that because they were all just hung on strings. So they had to wait for whatever it was to stop spinning around and waving so they could take an image of it, and then they move it ever so slightly, wait for it to stop spinning around, take an image of it, move it, spin, wait.
So arduous.
Well, they should have put it on a stick or something. There was a bit on the when the Clangers floats up to the ceiling, I could see the string. You could see the string pulling it up and down. That did make me laugh. What cult British television show were they featured in? Jeremy, it used to be one of your favourites.
Cult?
British cult television show.
Is it going to be Thomas the Tank Engine?
No.
Cult, like, not Red Dwarf.
You were a little obsessed with it. You're on the right track. I'll put you out your misery.
What cult? Sorry,
British I didn't say shit. I did. Yeah.
No. What British show was I obsessed with? I know I get obsessed with a lot of shows. I can't hear you. You can't hear the whistle.
Doctor Who.
Oh.
Wait,
I swear the Clangers have been in other shows.
The Clangers make a brief appearance in the 1972 story The Sea Devil. The Doctor's arch enemy, the Master, is watching them on television, and he thinks they're real creatures and absolutely approves of them, and has to be pointed out by one of his henchmen that it's just a children's television show.
I might have to watch that scene. Wait, 1970 when? That'd be
1972.
72.
Do you reckon Matt Groening watched that episode? Because that's very much like the slurp, the King Keen Swilly watching the TV show in The Simpsons. Not The Simpsons. Oh, Futurama.
I know what you meant.
I think that's
still Matt Groening.
Pertwee era. So that would make sense. It's very early. All right. Anyway.
It just made me laugh.
Yeah.
Laugh even.
Wuzzle Gummidge connection.
In October 2013, the BBC's CBeebies channel and an American preschool channel called Sprout announced that a new series would be produced for broadcasting in their 2015 schedule, and was. Michael Palin narrated in place of the late Oliver Postgate for the British audience for the BBC, and the American version, who did the majority of the funding for it, actually, they had William Shatner narrated.
Of course they did.
Which is amazing.
Oh, I need to see that.
I would have preferred something like Leonard Nimoy.
Do you know, Will Shatner is such a... He'll do anything to get on TV.
That's true.
We've got this sci-fi. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. I can't do a Shatner impression, sorry. I mean, I describe this in my notes as, this is so gentle, I'm going to fall asleep in a minute. Because it is quite calming and...
But it's nice.
Blah, 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 blah.
It's not like...
It is
boring.
Nice.
It's a bit slow.
So we watched 2 episodes, so that's roughly 20 minutes, probably about 18 minutes in all. And I remember the voices being cute, but they were beginning to grate a little by the time we finished the second episode. I don't think I could have watched another one.
No, Tiny's was quite high pitched.
There were some that were piercing and quite loud.
I was
blowing out they were blowing out the mic.
Struggling a little bit with that by the end.
And the soup dragon needs to cough.
Yeah.
Cough.
Also,
it's horrible.
I want to be the guy who got paid a full day's work for making chicken noises. Mechanical chicken noises.
Postgate did it, but yeah. It's a good job if you can get it.
Honestly. That episode, though, it was an interesting storyline.
There were some very simple concepts. So in the first one, they were started off arguing, but then they were reminded to work together. And then in the chicken one, everybody was pissed at the chicken except Tiny, who talked to the chicken and explained why they couldn't do those things, and then was friends with him.
Used words.
So there's some very simple concepts.
Well, my mind started to go a bit in this one, and I started writing silly things, and I was like, imagine if the narrator just comments, they hit something, looks like Apollo 13. And then, like chicken soup, and then doesn't seem like a fruitful economy if the children are always the ones bringing dinner home. And then the chicken's chest opened up and a flamethrower popped out.
And an alien xenomorph popped out.
And then Clangers, episode 3, Judgment Day.
No, that's Terminator. I don't know if you'll like this one or not. In 2001, a selection of the music and sound effects was compiled by someone called Johnny Trunk from 128 musical cues that were held by Oliver Postgate, and contracted Act 1, The Iron Chicken and the Music Trees, of a Clangers opera with libretto that he had compiled.
Wow.
So there is a Clangers opera out there somewhere.
I feel like I knew that too. I feel like they'd done a whole musical thing with the Clangers just singing.
That does kind of fall into the category of why.
Because he loved them.
How bored were you in 2001? How bored were you that you felt the need to make a Clangers opera? Yeah.
But you can tell that he loved the Clangers. Like this guy, the Clangers was his life. They were his friends.
Well, from a musical point of view, I can understand. I mean, it's quite an interesting music concept, the whole them talking and then making an opera with it. I can understand that was quite cool.
I suppose it is almost like the Peter or the Wolf effect, because they've all got their own tone of whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Like maybe less of a traditional opera in the sense, but more of a like you say, Peter and the Wolf, that sort of story where you could just like be a constant musical. So it is kind of operatic because there's no break in the music, but
I think it was just because Oliver Postgate had a controlling interest in a pin whistle company. He's trying to drive up, sales.
He probably did.
Yeah.
By your own Clangers post whistle, penny whistle.
Yeah, penny whistle. So would you recommend it?
Yeah.
Either of you?
Yeah.
So Jeremy, would you recommend it to your friends? Would this be a sit around and listen to it unironically?
I do want to show them. I didn't get a chance to watch it with them, but I do want to show them Clangers.
So Jeremy has an Italian friend. I'd love to know his opinion. Sit him down and don't warn him. Don't warn him. Just put it on and let it go. I'd be interested to know his his opinion. So Jennifer, would you recommend this to a parents of a young child?
Yeah. I would just remind them that they watched it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then they would go, "Oh yeah, that would be brilliant. Let's show that."
Is that the one that goes?
Yep.
And I bet they say soup dragon with a Welsh accent as well.
That's it. It's the soup dragon. Now, but like you say, it's over the engine.
It is over there.
It has the Welsh accent.
It's the green dragon.
But that's the Mandela effect again, I think. This affects this a lot. Yeah.
I remember being obsessed with Ivor the Engine when I was younger. But the only thing I can remember about it is the green dragon and the noise of the train. What's this got to do with the Clangers?
We'll cover it at some point, I'm sure.
Ivor the Engine, yes, but we are actually, exciting news, serial viewers. We've put together the list for our next season already. So we've chosen our shows. Yes, Rosie, Chorlton and the Wheelies will be in it.
Yeah.
So, any last thoughts on Clangers before we move on?
I want one.
You want a Clanger? What, a real one?
Yeah, he'd be my mate.
Oh, I think it'd just be a nightmare.
My ears bleed, maybe. Imagine that, like...
Yeah, you know what, though.
No, I don't need them. I don't need my ears.
You're a musician, mind you. Evelyn Glennie's made millions.
Do you reckon if you squeezed the clanger really hard, it go...
Swallow its own whistle.
Yeah.
I think you'd end up with clanger milk, to be honest.
You give him the Heimlich and he just goes, and it just comes out and he's just like, oh, I've been trying to get rid of that thing for years.
Thank the fuck, no.
Oh. It's like Wheezy from Toy Story.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Susan, who contacted us on Facebook to tell us that our Biker Grove episode was terrible.
Yes.
And we got lots wrong.
Yes.
But she didn't actually explain what we got wrong. So thank you, Susan, for interacting with us in that way. It must have been bad because she felt the need to immediately jump on Facebook and tell us.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that. Thank you, Susan.
Again, I apologise to Newcastle. The Greater North.
I'm not convinced she even got that far.
No.
So ratings. Jeremy, rate Clangers out of 10, please. Jeremy.
No, it doesn't work. Discord cuts it off.
What?
I went...
What, you're whistling?
Yeah. I whistled an 8.
An 8?
Yes, because I love the Clangers.
Good lord.
There's nothing wrong with the Clangers. It's gentle, but not in a bad way. Okay, yeah, I can see how the noise does get a bit grating, but don't watch 4 episodes in a row when you get the Clangers. It's not...
Or turn it down.
Yeah.
What about you, Jennifer?
I'm going to go for an 8 as well.
Jeez.
I love the Clangers.
Spicy.
They're cute. And the little soup dragon. She was like their mum. She looked after them.
Or their dealer.
Yeah, their dealer. Yeah, because they ate other stuff. like blue
Yeah.
spaghetti.
Well, I don't know. Why can't the chicken eat the copper trees? Does it use to make the soup, or is that like they're growing like copper drugs or?
Yeah, I think the copper trees are for the soup dragon.
I think so.
I don't know.
They were around
one
the same
of them.
place.
I think the first one they pick something of the copper trees, like a flower, and she takes it and then gives them back the soup dragon.
Okay.
The soup.
Oh, it was like
Or the soup
tokens.
dragon. I don't know.
She's just forced this weird capitalist dynamic on them just so she can keep them addicted to her soup.
Yeah. She never. You notice she never drinks the soup herself. She never tastes the product.
It's because she lives in it. It's disgusting.
It's her own. Spell Delphine. Sold her in bathwater.
You guys are gross. It's just
Hey,
at the
I'm
bottom
not
of
the one
the
who did it.
cave that she's in as well. She's not swimming in it.
That cave is 1 square meter.
She's just saying that.
Yeah.
I completely. Oh, I gave it a 5
Yeah.
because
You're
I
a
thought you
miserable old
did.
I'm a bit-
arsehole.
I mean, it was very comforting. 5's quite high for me. It was very
Yeah.
comforting. It was nice, but it wasn't very. It wasn't what I wanted. It's not exciting enough.
What did we
And
do
I was
last?
getting.
And a robot chicken.
I was getting annoyed with their voices. I'm sorry.
Tiny nearly died up against that roof of the
She was never in any threat.
Yeah, there's no gravity.
So that gives it.
on.
Hey, look, be happy. That gives an overall rating of a 7, which is
Hey,
uncanny. I
brilliant.
would have never. That's put it into the top 10 easily.
Good.
What did we do last?
Last week was Baba.
Baba.
Oh yeah, Baba. That's right. You
Baba
can rate
got
Baba
Baba.
higher than a 5.
Baba.
Got a 4.5, so unlikely.
Baba.
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 So yes, that was Clangers. There's not really a great deal to say about the Clangers. They are small. Oh, okay.
So if the Clangers got in a spaceship and landed
Yep.
in Celesteville, what would happen? Would they be welcome, or would they start this weird revolution? Would they go full like American on it and throw a nuke at them?
The rhinos would try and use them to get some sort of political advantage over the empire, the elephant empire.
Yeah,
Whereas King Baba would talk it out with them.
probably.
He would
be
see them as
"Hello,
distant
my small
relatives."
friend, cousins." Yeah.
Although they do look like mice, and elephants are
That's-
famously scared of mice,
yeah,
so they may just trample them.
emotional.
I think
war.
they look like pink elephants.
They look like little
Oh, so-
shrews to me. So they have like the little snoots, but they're still nice.
So the elephants could just see them as disgusting mutants, and yeah, they go interstellar war.
This is
The soup dragon
Baba.
comes
You
down.
can just see them different coloured skin.
They fought a war. There was a
Yeah.
war in Baba.
Soup dragon comes down and just like covers the whole town in like
No.
burning soup.
No, that's it. That's what happens. Is the clangers show up and they start dealing green soup to all
Yeah.
the elephants.
The
So Baba has to clamp down to stop the import of illegal green soup.
the green lettuce.
Yeah, have some dragon oozings.
Dragon ooze. Dragon squeezings.
So there you go. Serial Viewing recommends the Clangers. Sorry,
Yes.
Clangers.
Yes, we do.
Join us next week. Actually, no, before we do that, we are putting together a list for our next series, which is a few episodes away, but we like to get prep early. If there is anything you want us to cover, any children's shows, any particular favourites, please let us know, and we will we'll
Butcher
definitely see
your
if we can fit
favourite
them into-
shows growing up. As
We
a
will.
child.
It will be terrible,
Yep.
as that one person on Facebook said. Yeah, let us know, please. We will. If you suggest it, we will probably cover it. You can contact us via Facebook, like Susan did. You can get in touch with us Instagram. You can go to our website. You can send us. We've got a contact form on the website. You can leave us a voicemail. As I keep saying, if you leave a voicemail, you will get played on the show. Jeremy will have the wonderful job of editing you into the show.
And I won't put any funny effects or edit your voice in any way.
sounds at the end of it.
A bit correct.
Or you can just email us, serialviewing@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. So episode 34, I didn't know this existed in cartoon form, and having seen the source material, it surprised me slightly. We are watching Conan and the Young Warriors.
Yep.
You know, Conan, the half-naked barbarian that butchers people, there's blood everywhere, has sex with witches and cuts the head off a snake. That real child-friendly Conan the Barbarian.
It's going to be a Jace all over again, isn't it?
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be hair metal. There's going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger as a cartoon.
Get to the sword. So please join us for that one. Thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Jennifer.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, but my recording's picking it up, I think. Hang on. Yeah, I've got waveforms and everything. Anyway, so thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, viewers. We'll see you on the couch next time for Conan and the Young Warriors. Bye.
Bye.